Hey, what's up, gang? What's up? Ooh, a lot of light, a lot of light. Feel too much. Feel too much light, man. There you go.
Better?
Yeah, a little bit. I got it. Why that's tricky. Hello, everybody. What's happening? Great to see everybody. Give us 60 seconds. I promise you we'll get started. We'll let this audience build a little bit and we'll get started. Go grab you some popcorn.
Popcorn? I don't know about popcorn. What's going on, y'all? Happy Thursday to everybody out there. We're going to get this started in just a moment. Definitely take the time to tag. Take the time to share. Take the time to let somebody know that we are live, right? Absolutely. Facebook, I see you, Skinny Pop. Right. What's going on? We are live on IG. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. All right, Midday Madness, where we are super excited to be on here live, just sharing with you some nuggets that have really helped to change our entire life in an industry that we are super excited to be a part of, the industry of network marketing and direct sales. So tag, share. This may be for somebody who may be looking at our industry, somebody who may be a part of our industry. You know, we're just truly going to share some success principles that we've been able to learn and to go through in order to become the person that we were looking for as we continue to grow. And you know what? They really carry over into any area of life in which you want to be successful in, anything that you want to do, any business, any venture that you want to embark upon. You know, really these principles carry over, you know, from industry to industry. So great day, everybody. That's right. Grab your cup of coffee, right? That's what I need, a cup of Cafe Delgado, y'all. I'm feeling amazing and just super excited about what we're about to share. today. If you guys missed any of the other portions, all right, that have already taken place, as we went over a couple topics. I know last week we talked about transparency and we talked about coach or nah, but even before that, we talked about, just the whether it's progress or movement and how you got to own it and really putting that shovel down. So if you missed any of those topics, all you got to do, they are live on they are replays on our pages, but you can go to our YouTube channel and definitely check us out. You can either go to Nathan McCray, or mine, Pam McCray, right? All right, y'all. So we're going to get this started in just a moment, just waiting on Nate to come. Hey, Torian, I see you, Princess. I see you, Barbara. I see you, Anita. If you wanted your name to show, just click the link because we're using a platform in which you have to give it access to, okay? So otherwise you come up as the Facebook users, okay? But to everybody on IG that's jumping on, that's watching this now, that may watch this later on Nate's or on mine, happy Thursday to everybody out there. We are definitely, it's a very busy day in the McCray household. It is our son, Jaden's 14th birthday, in which, oh my goodness, where'd the time go? That's my baby. Like, that's the baby. He's the quiet one. He's the one who asks for absolutely nothing, right? Jaden is the one, when you ask him what he wants to do for his birthday, he just says, Mom, I'm good. Only thing he wants is Benihana. So I can tell you we would definitely be at Benihana's in a few moments, right? And celebrating him today. So thank you. All right. So I got my BFF by my side. I can't sit down. I'll be like this. The way you got the computer.
Oh no, I'm gonna
adjust
bring it
it
out for you.
Okay. All right. Let me sit down. We get to sit today. All right. Thank you, Naja. Can't wait to see you in Orlando, right? Yes. All right. Let me see if we got it.
All right. Hopefully you guys grab some.
They got popcorn and coffee so far.
All right. So hopefully you guys, along with your popcorn and coffee, hopefully you grabbed pen and paper because this is going to be, as always, one of the realest broadcasts that you're going to be a part of. We're going to definitely tell you some things that you may not ordinarily hear, because we're trying to show you how to build a fire in your MLM biz, or here's the part that I like, just how to build a fire in your life.
Right.
How about that?
That's why I was telling them. It just carry these success principles. They carry over into no matter what we put our hands to.
Absolutely.
They really do.
Because last week we talked about transparency. I heard you say that.
Right.
We talked about that a lot, about transparency, because that's big, because that's a life thing, right? So, and we talked about the difference in transparency traditionally as opposed to non-traditional.
Right.
How you dig that hole for yourself. You don't want anybody to know you're in there, so you never tell anybody that you're suffering silently, right? But over here in this industry, for those of you that have never been a part of it, right, you may be thinking about becoming a part of the industry. We're going to forewarn you that there is a large amount of transparency. So if you're not willing to use your pain to help somebody else move forward, this may not be the industry for you. Right. If you're not willing to finally get out of that turmoil that you're in, where you're going through and suffering silently and basically going through and nobody knows it, then this may, welcome to a home-based business, guys. Somebody comes to the front door, we got dogs barking, everything. So, this just may not be for you if you're not ready to be super transparent. What's up, birthday boy? Looking good.
All right.
If you're not ready to be transparent, then this may not be it. And I'm gonna tell you guys that because I don't want you guys to find things out. Pam and I, neither one of us want you to find things out once you get started in this amazing industry called multi-level marketing, right? So we rather tell you up front so that you know what you're getting into, you know what to expect, you know how to actually handle the potential pitfalls. All right. They don't have to be pitfalls. You could dodge them. And that's what this is all about. Pam and I have been in this industry for, over 25 years. Seen a lot of good, seen a lot of bad, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of lack of success, and now a lot of success, now being top leaders and top earners in this industry. multi-million-dollar earners, then we can most certainly tell you guys from A to Z, what to expect, what to do, what not to do.
What not to do.
Right. So we've been there. So
we sure have. We have learned through all the trials, through all of the failures,
trials and tribulations.
Right. Through all of the times in which we wanted to figure it out and recreate the wheel on our own and not be coachable, and willing to grow in this industry like we knew. At that time, we didn't know that we needed to really grow mentally. And it wasn't until we began to do these things that we saw a shift begin to happen in our life and in our business. Us beginning to win in the industry of MLM, direct sales, network marketing. Take your choice.
Absolutely. So I know Pam said it once. I'm going to say it again. If you are coming in and you may think we see you, but we don't. It says Facebook user. I heard her say that, right? So go out, come back in, and give StreamYard the access to show your name.
There you go.
Unless you just want to be
Facebook user,
Facebook user, and you just want to be
that's okay.
undercover, right? But remember, we just talked about transparency,
right?
So people want to know who you are. All right. So let's get into this because I think we got two bangers today to talk about.
We do.
We've already did the rehash, so now we're gonna talk about today. And the weird thing, I have my contacts in. So I need
But you can't see?
I can see, but I need my reading glasses
because
my contacts are just for distance, right? I should have not put my contacts in. But anyway, I can read. You laughing at me? She laughing at me, y'all. That's okay.
He's older than I am.
By 9 months. But as you can see the best.
You need me to read? Just let me know. I can see.
All right. So let's jump right into this. I'm gonna read the first paragraph, and then Pam is gonna read the second paragraph, guys. And as I said, for those of you that are just joining, this is your first time ever seeing Pam and I. This is your first time ever listening to us. Then go back and check out the other episodes that she said on YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, everyone you see, right?
Right.
So let's jump into this. I called this section, for those of you that hadn't seen it yet, how to build a fire in your MLM business. Yes, I think that's them. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. How to build a fire in your MLM business. I'm the author of this book, guys. Go to Amazon and grab the ebook. And proud to say that I am just getting some print copies in for the actual book as well.
Yay.
And they'll be available on Amazon here shortly. It's not a big book, but it's a very powerful book, right? We get right to the point, right? So let's read this first section, the Jesus mentality. And I called it that because you'll find out in just a moment. The Jesus mentality. At least that's what I have dubbed it. Let me explain. Now, whatever religion you are, whatever God you believe in, everybody has a God, whatever it is, guys, do what you do. This is me. All right. So you can jump in, get in where you fit in. All right. Jesus was the Son of God, as if you didn't already know that. Pretty popular guy, right? But he just wasn't any old ordinary guy. He was the Son of the Most High God. He saved the world by sacrificing his very life. And all we have to do is receive that sacrifice and believe, have some faith, right? He performed amazing acts that would astonish those around him and prove his claim as the Son of God. I'm moving to the second paragraph because it connects. Here's the hardest part to grasp for most. You're not him. You can't save the world. He already did that. But you can save those that you come in contact with by showing them a better way of living. Spiritually, physically, spiritually, which is the mind, physically, which is the body, and financially, which is the money, right? We always talk about mind, body, and money here. So we're connecting those dots. I call this the 3 percenters. Those that are building all 3 areas in their life. All right. So now that we know who we're talking to, right? We know what we mean by the Jesus mentality, and we'll expound just a little bit,
right? Because
most people will have these grandiose ideas of, I'm going to save the world. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna be the best at this. Awesome, you are. But my wholehearted belief is that God created each and every one of us with a specific purpose in life. And that purpose is for you to go forth and find that purpose and to become the very best in that purpose. Right. So once you start moving on that path, you have to save the people that God has put in your path. If you start veering off course, then you are no longer in purpose. That's somebody, they're for somebody else to save, right? They're gonna come in your path. You cannot save the world. And if you try, you will get crucified just like he did. Just so you know. Will it be a physical crucifixion? Probably not. But it will most certainly be a mental one. And we'll find out why here in just a moment. Pam, you want to say something on that?
No, I do want to say that because a lot of times, we do have that mentality that we just want to help. We want to help everybody, right? I believe that everybody has that deep down within, and there's some that display it more than others. But many times we can find ourselves in different things, in different situations, and in business to where, we want it for somebody more than they want it for themselves. But yet we end up, almost like, I don't want to say sacrificing ourselves, but we give of ourselves time and time again, wanting that particular person to change or what have you. And what ends up happening is we end up depleting ourselves. So we can't save everybody, right? But we are called to lead and to walk, upright and with integrity, and to lead by example in the things that we do, as far as with the businesses that we're building, whether it's a product or whether it's a service, and really just show people that there is a way. And the ones that are meant to be connected to you will be connected to you. Because we're not intended to save the whole entire world. There's somebody out there in which, your story will connect to that it may not connect to the next person. There's somebody out there that may connect to your vibe that, doesn't connect to somebody else's vibe, or they connect to somebody else's vibe and they don't connect to your vibe. But at the end of the day, we can't worry about it. Because the ones that are called to connect to us are the ones that are called to connect to us. The ones that we are called to be connected to, we will be connected to at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we say all of this stuff. You're 1,000% right. That's resounding, because we say this stuff all the time, Pam, when we talk about, what God has for me is for me.
Right.
And yeah, we say these things and they sound profound, right? But then sometimes we fall short of actually practicing them. Right? We tend to start thinking about doing more than what we can, which pushes us out of, there's a certain way you can be pushed out of your comfort zone for growth. But when being pushed out of your comfort zone affects your physical health, right? It affects your mental health, and it affects your spiritual health, then that's where you have to draw a line, right?
That's good.
You really have to say the magic 2-letter word.
I was going to say it.
Say it.
No. I was going to say it. And that's what changed the game for me, because I was that person who I wanted to be there for everybody. Right. And I just wanted to make sure that I could do whatever I could whenever I was called upon in any situation. And what ended up happening was I found myself, allowing things that I needed to take care of for me personally, for my family, what everything falling by the wayside, but I'm solving everybody else's problem. And what ends up happening is you find yourself now getting depleted and not moving in the purpose that God has for you. And so I used to literally have to stand in the mirror and practice, no, 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 because I was so used to saying yes, so used to, like, literally I would have a plan, right? I would have a plan. I would know what I needed to do that day, what I needed to accomplish that day. And then if something interjected in it, I would shift, right? And that's true, right? Remy said a big heart, right? When you have a big heart, you have to learn how to protect that heart so that you're not taken advantage of. But that was me, like, for real. I had to learn how to say no. And once I learned the power of no, and it's not what you say, is how you say it that makes the difference. In order to realize that you ultimately have to do what God is calling you to do, and to move in your purpose, and to make sure that things are lining up so that you are not depleting yourself, which is what I was doing.
Yeah, that's a biggie. You bless somebody with that. You bless somebody with that, because there are so many people that will just tell you to be selfless. Just be self. Don't worry about yourself. Just make sure you give to others. And I call that you're taking things out of context, right? So there's a portion of a phase in the IAO Academy that actually talks about being your opportunity, your time to be selfish, right? That means you're trying to figure out your purpose, your path. A lot of you guys, as Pam, didn't really understand or know your purpose or your path.
Right. So
you have to, this is your moment to define what that purpose is and how you're going to move forward in that purpose, right? So a lot of people get to that point to where they go all of their life and not know, and they've done for everybody else all of their life. And now they are physically, mentally, financially depleted. And the same people that they did for are the same people that are stepping over them now to move to the next person that they're going to find that's going to say, yes, 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 just like you just did. I know that, it's funny because we tend to, and it's the craziest thing. I'll make this statement. My son is a mama's boy, and he is 1,000% mama's boy, right? I was a mama's boy, but I wasn't as much as he is, right? It's amazing though how you marry somebody that has the same personality of your mother or of your father, right? So if you have a good mother or a good father, then you tend to marry somebody of that same personality. And sometimes even if it's bad or bad, you marry somebody that was bad or bad, right? But it's funny because Pam and my mom were a lot alike, because they would ask my mom. I watched my mom and my dad do for people selflessly, continuously. And it was just my dad. Now, this is, I'm gonna give you guys, we talked about transparency last week. We did a lot of transparencies. Transparency continues through this whole thing, right? So I watched my mom and my dad give to people, but here's the catch. My dad had a big heart. He gave in his own way, but he gave responsibly, right? If he gave, he wanted to make sure, okay, if I'm giving to you, I want to not only give you, I want to help you figure out why you need it, why you constantly need somebody to give to you. Yeah. Let's figure this thing out, right?
Which helps.
Can't just put Band-Aid on it, right? So I sat there and watched my dad, allow my mom to help. And it was like he was doing it just to make her happy, right? But I know his heart was to give responsibly. My dad is a serial entrepreneur himself. He's always had his own businesses as long as I can remember, right? So my mom was like, well, I want to help such and such do this. My dad would always say, yeah, because whatever Irene wanted, he did it, right? Even though it went against what he felt, he did it. But it got to a point where he had to put his foot down and say, wait, this is hurting you. And in turn, if it's hurting you, it's hurting me. So it's hurting us. So I'm going to need for either you to say no sometime or allow me to say no, allow me to help you help us, right? So some of you are in this same situation and you're being depleted, and you have to get to a point in your life where you get you right, where you get you to a point to, and people are going to give you a bad rap. They're going to be like, oh, you changed. Yeah, you're right. I have. Right.
For the better.
I'm a very definitive person. Right. I'm very definitive. And for me, it's, I've learned to have more gray, but not too much. It used to be, it's this or it's that. right? And there was no gray because I wanted to get from here to there as quick as I could. I've learned to have a little gray, but not too much. So what happens is I'm very definitive. I always look for the solution, right, in something. But the solution has to be a long-term solution, right? So if that makes sense to you guys. So in being transparent and then understanding that I'm not the most high, I got to help people fix themselves that are on this path. And the most important thing is they got to be willing to want to fix themselves.
Right, that's
right?
key.
And that's key. Most people aren't willing. Most people are just professional victims. Mm-hmm. And they get a lot of attention actually just getting people to help them constantly. And there's a lot of people in the world, so you can ask a lot of people, right, for different things. And then after a while, your circle runs out and you get to be known as the needy person, right? So I'm gonna let Pam read the next part and just gonna explain the 3%. And why you guys see me do this all the time, on all the pictures you see, I'm always throwing this up. Pam's gonna try to explain a little bit to you guys right now. I've already explained some of the 3% is mind, body, and money, but we'll tell you why.
Right. We have all heard that if you kill the head, the body will die. And I think that is one of the most accurate statements ever made. The head makes up about 7% of the body. Your brain counts for about 3% of your head. Is it safe to say that everything starts there? Kill the head and the body dies. The remaining 97% is under subjection to the brain. When the brain stops giving commands, you cease to productively exist. Why did God not just make us empty vessels that he could control to do whatever he wanted? Simple. He wanted us to choose. Freedom of choice. It's called free will. Even Jesus had free will. In essence, we are spirit wrapped in flesh and blood fulfilling a God-given purpose here on this earth. If we master the simplicity of the 3%, then the remaining 97% has to fall in line. That's powerful. That's
so
true.
That's the
when you master the mind, when you master the mind, right, which makes up the 3%, then literally that's going to put everything into control. And it was when we realized that, right? When we began to shift our thinking, when we began to elevate our mind, when we began to not to focus on the positive aspect of things and to eliminate the negative aspect. Yes, you're going to go through things in life. Nate and I go through things that, all of the time, right? Different challenges and things that everybody has to go through in life. But guess what? We don't focus on the challenge, right? We focus on where we're going. We focus on the solution. But this was not something that we just woke up and started doing. Right. It was a process for us. We had to really begin to do different things day in and day out in order to really shift the way that we look at things, to shift our perspective, right? To have that paradigm shift as we're talking about, with our organization right now in a book that we're reading. But literally, it took time. It took work. And most of the time, people don't want to put in the work that is going to take in order to shift your mindset, because there's a spiritual aspect and there's a mental aspect. And so that spiritual aspect is going to help us to, believe and to have the faith and, everything that's necessary to know that we're possible, to know that, yes, we can. But at the end of the day, we got to grow mentally. And when we grow mentally, that is when everything else is going to fall into place. That is the missing component that most people don't take the time to dive into when they want to create success in the majority of the areas in life that they put their hands to. So it doesn't matter whether you're an MLM, it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter whether you put your hands to accomplishing, something, elsewhere. At the end of the day, this right here, because you can only go to the level of your growth. You can only earn to the level of your growth. So you got to shift this. You got to change this.
Absolutely.
And it's a daily growth. None of us have arrived.
Right. And everything is mentality. Everything is about, as Pam said, it's about the shift. And sometimes the shift can be the most productive part to your success, or it can be the killer of success. because if you're not willing to shift as you need to shift, you can waste time being concerned about what other people feel, right? So your mental shift has everything to do with you, right? And everything that you think about in these contexts, I want you guys to think about them like this. It has everything to do with you, right? Because you're the first partaker, right? You can't ask somebody else to do something that you're not doing. Right. You can't say that this is how you're going to be successful at doing this. And you're telling them to do something that you've never done. Right. You don't have to be currently doing it, but you would have had to have done it and gotten some positive results from it before you tell anybody else to do it. Right. So I think that's the key in the mental aspect is the simplicity or the simple things that I do. They need to be there so that I can just shift on the simple things first. And this is as simple as the mind, the body, and the money. So let's go over some examples of what we mean when we talk about shift, because we're not just topical, right? When we talk about shifting, or we talk about the 3%ers of the world, these are what we call the doers, right? These are the people that they don't just talk about it, they are about it. Right?
They're not inside their comfort zone.
They're not in. They're totally. They live outside of.
It's not even an option.
There is no box. They've obliterated the mental thought of a box. So the 3%ers, when you talk about mind, they don't just talk about doing personal development, or they don't just do it when it's convenient. They do it every day.
Every day, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, which is what the 3LD, which is my company name 3LD, the 3%er lifestyle development company. So it's about lifestyle. Your lifestyle is the 3%er lifestyle. Every day, it's all about you actually going and doing this. You have to put some audio on. You may not be a reader. You may not be the person that picks up a book and reads. You may be audible, right? You hear it and you get it, right? I'm more audible than I am, written, right? If I write something, I get it, as opposed to reading it and get it. If I hear it, I get it, right? So every day, what are you putting in your mind physically? What are you doing when nobody's watching, right? These are the trench people, or the trenches below the trenches. These are the people that are down below being crunched and pressurized to become diamonds, right? And even in your body, right? The body part, we just said you kill the head, the body dies. Right. So everything is in context. The body your brain is first. You feed this first. If this isn't right, this most certainly is not going to be right.
Right.
Point blank, period. All right. We've all heard the saying, since we're on the body piece. We've all heard the saying, you cannot outwork a bad diet.
That's true.
Yeah, I said the word.
Can't outwork it.
I said diet.
I know.
I did. I said it. Some of y'all are like, oh, you said diet. Your diet is what you eat. Like, your diet is what you ingest here, and here. That's your diet, right? But since we're talking about body now, what you can't outwork a bad diet. So I see so many people, they're on social media, man. Everybody's the bomb on social media. They're on social media, man. They're walking, they're doing they're working out. You turn that camera on, boy, they turn into doggone. They straighten up. As soon as you turn that video camera on, they straighten up, and it's like, oh my God, they got the video. Why? Why is it when the video camera comes on, everybody you straighten up? Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Hold on. Let me do this. 3%ers, when you turn the video camera on, they're already ready.
Yeah, ready.
Doesn't even matter. Nothing changes. Nothing changes, right? Your mindset is already there. It's not about the video camera. It's not about what the world's gonna see me do. It's about what I'm doing for me. Right? How do I want this to be healthy enough to carry this? Right? Because this body altogether houses the most important part of our body, the brain. Everybody talks about the heart. I get it. You stop pumping blood. This stops pumping blood, then it's a wrap too, right? But this tells this to stop pumping blood before it stops, right? So we have to get that 3% piece in place. So but here's a sore spot. This diet thing is a sore spot, but I want to broaden this array for you guys so you understand. Your diet is everything that you do in life. Point blank, period. It's what you eat, what you listen to. It's what comes out of your mouth. It's what you see. What do you expose your eyes to? Guys, you have to be in control of that. And 3%ers, they do that. I heard Will Smith say one time, Pam, he says, there's not a lot different about me than the average guy. It's not a lot different. He said, but there's one main difference. He says, the difference about me is I have a crazy, sickening work ethic. He says, I'm going to outwork you. He says, I'm not leaving until I outwork you. That's why he's the megastar that he is, right? That's why Kobe Bryant, RIP, was the superstar that he was, right? That's why he left a legacy that he left, because he got to the gym before everybody else and he left after everybody else, right? He had a crazy, sickening work ethic. He was going to outwork you. And that's what I mean when we're talking about 3%ers. So now we've talked about the mind, we've talked about the body. Guys, now I'm gonna let you say something about that before we get into the real sore spot. Right?
Well, what can you say more about the mind other than it controls everything? You think about it in everyday life, when there's something that you want to accomplish, until you make up your mind to do it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to get done. We make excuses. The mind is the devil's playground. So if you don't take control of it, then what can end up happening is you'll be shifted, you'll be shaken in all different directions, the direction that you don't want to be going in, because you allow the nonsense to creep in. But when we learn that we truly need to be renewing and transforming our mind every single day, and it's a process, but it's all about, just like Nate said, that diet, the things that we look at, the things that we listen to, the things that we speak, all of this becomes our life, our lifestyle, and it's how we think. And it's going to cause us to move, and cause us to create the success, or not to create the success that we want to see happen in our life. Like, I could take something simple, as having a weight loss goal, which many people have, right? A lot of people are on a journey of either changing their health or wanting to change their size, right? It may just be a health situation. They may want to tone up or what have you. But I can tell you that no matter what, even though we're part of a health and wellness company, at the end of the day, when I was out of control, I allowed my mind to tell me things that I wanted to believe, right? I allowed my mind to say things like, well, Pam, you know what? You can have this today. It's okay. It's your birthday month. Keep celebrating. Keep eating that cake. Keep having those margaritas. Keep eating all of that food that, had all the carbs and everything that I knew was packing on the pounds. And I kept making up excuses because I started to believe the very lies that I was telling myself, realizing that, no, I can't continue. Not if I say that, I want a certain lifestyle. I want, to look a certain way. So I had to change my mind. Nothing can stop a made up mind. But how does that mind get made up? You got to make sure that you are continuing to feed it the things that it needs in order to continue to grow. And so I had to shift. I had that shift moment. One of the things that I thank God for is that, one of the things that Nate and I always prayed for was discernment and really learning how to shift, right? I'm a little slower sometimes in certain situations, but than he is. But I know that literally that I have the power just like that to stop the nonsense. And it's not until I decide mentally that I'm going to stop the nonsense, and I'll shift and do what I know that I need to do in order to accomplish it. And guess what? When I did it, boom, okay? Because I made up my mind and I allowed nothing to change it or to get in the way of the goals that I want to accomplish. But I had to start here in order to really be able to take control. So that mind, man, it's going to guide you in every direction. It's going to be the very thing that causes you to be successful at that thing, or whether you choose to just running into the same wall over and over and over again, living the same life over and over and over again every single year, instead of advancing, every year, which is what we're called to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Man, mind, body. I'm telling you, these are the starters, right? So the last one, the money piece, because we're on the Jesus mentality. We're talking about the 3%ers right now, and the mind piece is the easy piece, right? I know we're kind of tilted. The mind piece is the easy piece that has a little variety.
Yeah.
The mind piece is the easy piece, and the body piece is the next easy piece, because you can make up your mind at any given time to stop eating right, start eating a little better, and start and grab onto the simple cliche that says you cannot outwork a bad diet. It just doesn't work, and the sooner you learn that, the better off you'll be, right? The last piece of that 3%er mentality is the money, the financial piece. A lot of, I'm just going to say this, and it is what it is. And that's the reason why there's a 97 and a 3, right? In terms of 97% of the people in the world, another statistic, are average, as opposed to the other 3% are above average. I didn't make that up. That's what it is. But most people, a lot of people, I'm not going to stereotype, but a lot of people suck at money. That, I'm sorry to say it that way, but I want you guys to get it. A lot of people suck at money, so that they don't understand how money works. They don't understand what they need to do when they get it. And I kind of alluded to that, right? I alluded to that a little bit on the last episode when I talked about what rich was as opposed to what wealth, right? What being rich is as opposed to what being wealthy is. Rich is you save 50%, wealthy is you save 75%, right? Mm-hmm. You ball out with 25% less than you would if you wanted to just be rich. Wealthy is you leaving generations of wealth for your children's and your children's children, and they're all, so the money never leaves. It's just always there, and you kind of walk into it, right? And you help perpetuate it and help keep it moving. So that piece is the hardest for people, because there's one main thing that people aren't willing to do, and that is take risk. Most people aren't willing to take risk. Some of you are listening to this live right now, or you're listening on YouTube, or you're listening wherever you're listening, and you're saying to yourself, well, or you've said, I don't know if, that's going to be right for me. But you've done that continuously with not just multi-level marketing. You've done that with a lot of different things in life, right? And we call that being poor, right? I know. Did he just call me poor? No, I said poor, P-O-O-R, same spelling, but it simply means passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Yeah.
Right? That makes you poor. And if you're never willing to take risk, the man or woman that never takes risk is not the risk. That's the riskiest. It's not taking the risk. That's the riskiest. Mm-hmm. So I want you guys to think back a moment. And I want you to think back on exactly what are the things that you've actually went out on a limb for and tried. What have I actually said, you know what? This is a little out of my depth. I don't know a whole lot about it, but let me try it. And there's two outcomes, right? There's let's just say 3 outcomes. There's really only 2. Right? Either you failed and learned something, or you succeeded and gained something. There is no failure. Anywhere it goes, you gain.
You're gonna learn something.
So passing over opportunities repeatedly is what keeps a lot of people there, because you can't, if you're never making enough money to pay bills, and you right now we're qualified to say this because we've been there. If you're not making enough money to pay your bills, simple math says I need to make more money. And then when you start making more money, the simple math also says I need to spend less, or else I'm going to be right back where I was. Right? So 75% you save, and you ball out on 25%, right? That's how you live your life. And pretty soon you look up and you got more money than you can shake a stick at. And then you can look to increase that number some, right? You can do a little more, but it's all in the process, right? So people suck at money. Get better at money, right? Get better at not telling yourself what you want to hear, right? Get better at growing your brain,
right?
And things will start to change for you. So this section was about the Jesus mentality.
Yeah, and it's all connected,
right? It's all connected.
It's all connected to the mind, though. You know, even the way that we look at money. Until you change the way you look at money and you understand wealth versus rich and wealthy versus rich, and until you really shift, then again, that's what's going to control the actions and the activities and the things that you end up doing in order to either create a legacy, to think out, along that way, or whether you just okay with getting by. It starts in the mind. It's funny because I was listening to this audio the other day. I dropped a part of it in our team group on legacy. And, this individual, I think he was maybe a football player or something, but he was sharing with how, all of these big names, they're somebody's last name. Okay. He was like, Bentley is a last name. Wells Fargo is a last name. And he started just naming all of these, two last names. Yeah, two last names, right? Mm-hmm. And he started naming all of these high-end things that people go buy, and he's like, and then he said, but what are you gonna do with your last name? Because we go and we buy these things that we want that they've created for us to go buy, but what are we doing in order to make sure that we're leaving something here in order for our last name to make a difference, in the world. We got kids and we got grandkids and people who are looking to us to say, well, what about my name? What are we going to do with my name, and stuff. And it's all with the thinking, with understanding wealth.
And thinking long term.
And thinking long term instead of short term.
Because most people want things now.
Mm-hmm.
They want them now. But here's the thing. You can have things in a healthy lifespan. Think about the age that you are now, right? Mm-hmm. And think about how much time you've actually wasted today.
Right.
Right. So now we have something called SOI, which is speed of implementation, right? How fast do you implement what you learn?
Right.
What's your number? Mm-hmm. Right. We call it what's your number. Do you have to hear it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 times? Or do you hear it once, no matter who says it? Do you hear it once and know that it's good for you? It applies to what you need to do when you implement it.
Right.
If your number gets down to 3 or less, then you're moving. Mm-hmm. Right. So thinking about everything that we're talking about, speeding up your implementation can get you where you want to be faster, and you can actually enjoy some of your money before you have to leave here, and you don't want to just leave a legacy and you lived as a pauper all your life, but you saved all your money in tin cans. You didn't enjoy none of it. Right. You didn't enjoy any of it.
That ain't what's supposed to happen either.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up. Let's talk about keep it simple. And this is the last piece. The 3 simple phases that I will share later is in this guide will blow your mind and leave you thinking that hold on one sec. I'm gonna put this glass on so I can stop struggling.
Those words are very big.
Hey, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something to Pam when we end this broadcast. The 3 simple phases that I will share later in this guide will blow your mind and leave you thinking that there must be more. Smash that thought, or you will become an MLM fatality. I'm gonna read that again because I want y'all to. We're talking about keeping it simple, right?
Right.
The 3 simple phases that I will share later in this guide will blow your mind and leave you thinking that there must be more. Smash that thought, or you will become an MLM fatality. Everything is in plain sight. No smoke, no mirrors, no tricks. Contrary to what people haphazardly say, there is no shortage of opportunity in this industry. Listening to average people will get you average results. Mm-hmm. And in turn, listening to above average people will get you above average results. Go ahead.
The real messed up part is that some people tend to listen to below average people that have never tried anything different.
No risk.
They create their limitations based on the experiences of others.
Say that again. Whoa.
They create their limitations based on the experiences.
That's powerful, right there.
Woo! That's powerful. I mean, both of those sentences for real. Mm-hmm. The real messed up part is that some people tend to listen to below average people that have never tried anything different. That's crazy, but it's true. I always say that misery loves company. Just don't be open to the visit. People mean well, but most people tell you what they think based on what they have been told as opposed to what they actually know. The hardest but smartest answer to give for a question is, I don't know, but I will find out. So people wing it and say things that keep people poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly.
So we talked about coach or not in the last segment,
Yeah.
right? And this is where your discernment has to be key, guys. All right. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I want to throw somebody under the bus, okay? Because it's a matter of you as a person that is sowing into someone's life. You can't tell somebody something to do something and you don't know what the end result is going to be.
Right.
How does that happen? You've never done it before.
Right.
Right? If you've never done it and you've never had success at it, that means two things. The person that you brought into the business needs a coach and you need a coach.
Right.
You need somebody that has actually had success in what you're trying to accomplish, right? The blind leading the blind is not a business plan. Okay.
Right.
You cannot, it's like two blind men walking down the road talking about we're gonna make it across the road. You probably won't because you can't see. Somebody has to guide you, right? Mm-hmm. And we talked about that on the last show, right? We talked about that. We talked about, is this person a coach or not? I'm not busting on the person that brought you into the business, but they just may not be your coach. They just may be your business partner, right? They may just be the person that, if that person accomplished something more than what you have accomplished in this industry, then they can coach you to get to there, right? Not beyond that, because they haven't been there yet.
Right.
I can talk about the moon and what the moon looks like, but I can't talk about what it feels like to go there.
Right.
Right. So
you can't tell nobody how to get there.
Can't tell nobody how to get there. So this whole thing, the simple phases, listening to the right people, listening to people that have actually had the results. Right. If I've heard so many, you know, the most profound person that can tell you how not to lose money is the person that has lost money. Right? The person that has been to the mountaintop and back down, right? They've had money and they've lost it. And now they're trying to get it again. Because one thing I'm going to tell you, and Pam will tell you, me and Pam have had money before. And no matter what level, we've never been at the level we're at now, but we've been pretty doggone well off, right? Mm-hmm. Once you go to that mountaintop, whatever, there are different mountaintops. Once you go to that mountaintop and you get that feeling, you are going to spend the rest of your life trying to get back to that feeling.
Right.
That's why drugs are so powerful. Because once you take it, you get that feeling, you want to get back to that. Hence comes the addiction. So your habits positively are going to drive you. Your habits negatively are going to kill you. They're going to take you backwards. So the key is find somebody that's going to understand how to say, I don't know, but I'll find out for you. Mm-hmm. I hung my hat on that phrase when I was in corporate America, because I never wanted to tell. I had networks under my care, same phone networks that you guys are talking on. I never wanted to just tell somebody what I thought.
I know, right?
Right?
Now,
well, I think that'll work.
Nobody got cell phones in the whole area.
Right. I think that'll work.
Right. You can.
You know, but what I would do is they would say, hey, you know, how does this, how can we do this? Or, will this work? I'd be like, if I knew it would work, oh yeah, absolutely, that work. I've done it before. But if it doesn't, I don't know. Let me find out and I'll let you know. So I go crunch numbers. I go do layovers, the overlays. Now this work, this covers it. Boom, come back. Yeah, that'll work. Or no, that won't work. And that answer, I don't know, but I'll find out, carries you a long way.
That's good. You know, you can't be afraid to. I mean, that's just to the point. You can't be afraid to tell somebody that you don't know, but be proactive in getting the answer so that you can know, because this is all. It's all about growth. It's all about becoming, you know, to win at anything, especially in this industry. So therefore, it's a daily process. So you're not going to know everything, But along the way, you have to be intentional in growing so that you can know the things that's necessary in order to be successful in anything that you put your hands to. So yeah,
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. This has been good. I was about to say it's getting good, but it's getting gooder and gooder. Gooder and gooder. Right. So next week we talk about we get more into the we're starting to get more into the actual what do you want to call it? You want to call it? I would say let's say roadmap. We'll get more into the game plan. Let's just say call it game plan or roadmap. I don't like to use the word strategy because this is too simple to say strategy. Right. Yeah. Let's get more into the blueprint. I don't like to use strategy. Yeah, blueprint.
I need a strategy. We have a system. There's no strategy.
Let's get into why we build. Let's get into why the system works. Why the system? That's what we're gonna get into. Why the system works. Why the blueprint works. It's on the next episode, which is on Tuesday, but I think we're traveling. Right. I think we're traveling on Tuesday. Yeah. So we'll make sure we get that out to you guys. But next week we're going to talk about energy and income producing activity. So that's going to be a good tandem.
We may need to change up the days or something.
Yeah, we'll change it up a little bit for you guys, and to make sure everybody's getting this. So if you guys haven't gotten the book yet, okay, if you haven't gotten the book yet, go grab the book on Amazon. Search How to Build a Fire in Your MLM Business. Or just search my name, the author Nathan McCray. Okay, and you'll find it.
All right.
So we don't want to keep you guys in here all day. Wanted to come on here and give you guys some pertinent information, something that you guys could actually use to go back and build not only your business, but to keep your life in line and to do the things that you need to do. Because there are a certain code of ethics and character that you got to carry with yourself to actually build anything in life, and that's including your life.
That's right. Principles. You got to practice them. And as you're practicing them, that's what's going to create the success. So thank you all for tuning in again, as this is Midday Madness in the month of July, sharing Nate's book, How to Build a Fire in Your MLM Business. And these principles carry all around our entire life. So no matter what it is, I know you can get something out of this in order to move your life forward. So we'll see you guys next time. Have an incredible rest of your week. Y'all keep shining, keep grinding. It's your turn. Thank y'all.
See you guys. Thank you for joining. See you guys next week. Tell somebody, bring a friend next week. We're gonna lay this thing out for y'all, man. We're gonna hold no punches back. We'll tell y'all the nitty-gritty, the real deal, right? What do you need to do to move your business forward? Be a life forward continuously. We thought we had it all figured out, but we didn't, right?
Oh,
stay on this journey. Stay on this journey, all right?
It's a journey.
Sorry, I had y'all on the Kent right here on Instagram.
Yeah, you got it.
I had y'all on the Kent.
Jimmy Reed. All right, y'all. See y'all next time.
Ayo, baby. Ayo.
All right.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye-bye, y'all. See y'all later. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye, y'all.